Welcome, dear listeners, to another soul nourishing episode of We Are Listening. Today, we embark on a journey beyond the realm of conventional healing, delving into the profound world of energy healing. But before we unveil the mysteries that lie within, let me share a little anecdote. Imagine walking through a dense forest, surrounded by ancient trees whispering the secrets of the universe. And suddenly you stumble upon a serene clearing bathed in ethereal light, where a wise soul awaits to guide you through the pathways of healing. And today we have the honor of being accompanied by such a guide, none other than the esteemed Oliver Dolby, a beacon of light in the realm of energy healing. Welcome, Oliver.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Pulkit. Thank you.
Oliver, energy healing is something that has really fascinated me since probably I was in my late teens, 19 years old, 20 years old. That was the very first time I encountered energy healing and the power of chakras. And I have been reading it since. I will not say every now and then, but yes, whenever I get time, I try to go through a little bit of energy healing meditation. That's a chakra guided meditation over YouTube. I found one link that really resonates with me. It's a 21 minutes meditation, 3 minutes on each chakra. And I really feel refreshed after that. Today I would request and with your help, like to, unfold this enigma of energy healing for our listeners.
Energy healing is an incredible subject and topic, and it's so vast and broad in what it does and encompasses. The fact that you started in your late teens, early 20s is incredible because I probably started around about the same time, delving into this idea of energy and what it is. And I met all these incredible people because I was very fortunate to meet incredible people that tried to teach me what energy was. And of course, I couldn't get it. I didn't understand it. It was
Mhm.
too much for me to take on in one session. They could talk about these incredible feeling the energy, and I couldn't feel it. And you start to think, well, is there something wrong with me because I can't feel this energy?
Mhm. Mhm.
But it was just that I had too much in the way, too much life distractions in the way. And I realized much later that everything is about a vibration.
Yep.
We're all a bit like radio stations. If we
Mhm.
tune ourselves into that vibration, that frequency, that radio station, that energy, then we're going to feel it. Then we're going to hear it. Then we're going to be able to listen to it and understand it. But if our frequency is on something completely different, we're never going to get there.
Yep.
So it took me getting to understand that if I could just tune myself in a little bit, then I could start to feel it. Then I could start to understand it. And then I could start to go, actually, wow, these chakra meditations actually do work. This energy healing actually does work. So it was almost me giving myself permission to tap into that frequency, that radio station. Because think about it, radio stations are playing all the time, all the way around us.
Yep.
We just can't hear them.
That's true. That's true. And I really love the analogy that you brought in of us all being a radio that needs to be, tuned into the right frequency to hear the right vibrations, to cast those right vibrations. I'm a firm believer of that your vibe attracts your tribe, and it has guided me so far. And please share your thoughts with me on this particular point where often we enter into a room or in an environment. Sometimes we feel really energetic, sometimes we are really high on energy out there in a room, or whenever we are with somebody. Vice versa, we meet somebody we don't like that much, and suddenly our energy levels dip. We are like, okay, I will talk to you, and all those. We're completely out of interest. And it just happens subconsciously. We are not doing it intentionally, but it just all happens on its own. So, is there energy in the play here?
Absolutely. I mean, that is a sure sign. That's where I think a lot of people first start when they go into a particular environment, a particular room, and they suddenly feel uncomfortable. Everything can look perfect in that room.
Mhm.
It can be neat and tidy and there be flowers in the right place, and but you just don't want to be there. That energy there just doesn't makes you feel uncomfortable. And the
Mhm.
funny thing about energy is spaces absorb energy. So energy is absorbed by the walls, by the furniture. right? By the environment. It's absorbed it. So if you have let's just use an office environment where there's a lot of angry people,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and they've had a very, very stressful day, and you wake up, have a great day, you've done a little bit of meditation, you go off to the office, and as you walk into that place, you suddenly feel yourself getting upset, your energy being drained.
Yep.
And that is because the people in the office have created this energy which is, let's say, angry or negative or low vibration. And so immediately as you step in, you're going to start to lose energy because they're the majority, they're the whole, right? Now, when I used to work in the office environment, and I'd sense it because at this stage I got a little bit more in tune with myself,
Yep.
I realized that if I go into the office and I change the energy, okay, I change the way they're thinking. And so I used to go in and go, "Good morning," at the top of my lungs. It would shock
Mm-hmm.
everybody out of that place of anger, fear, whatever they were in, and cause them to maybe giggle or smile a bit.
Yep.
And immediately that changes the energy. That
Mm-hmm.
changes the energy. And everybody starts to have a better day. And of course, the more you start to understand and know yourself, the easier it is to able to change the room you're in. You know, when you also mentioned about meeting certain people that just want to drain you of energy. They're not even aware they're doing it, but sometimes they're just telling you the same drama over and over again. The same story about the same woes, the same pains they have, the same issues they have. And it's just naturally just starts to bring your energy levels down. It's almost like they're just sucking your energy away. And in the past, we used to call these people energy vampires. And they are. They just really are people that just suck the energy out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my suggestion there is when you meet people like that, is to try and limit the time you spend with them. Okay. They're not bad people. They're just a different place of their journey. They're just not ready to change, perhaps. And they just need you to feel sorry for them. In that process, they gain energy. So avoid the contact with them, keep the conversations as short as possible, choose not to meet up with them as often. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, these are family members,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to spend time with them quite often, but limit the time. You know, in those group environments, spend 1 minute with them. Then there's other people you want to spend 5 minutes with, and then there's other people you'll spend half an hour with, and there's other family members that you'll spend the whole day with and not have any issues.
Yep.
So you've always got to then manage yourself in these environments to find the people that are part of your tribe, as you mentioned as well. Those people that attract to you, those people that you like and enjoy being around,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
those are the ones that are going to support you. But you still got to, of course, be polite to the others.
With family members, it often becomes a difficult situation. You have to be them. But I totally hear you where you are coming from. Oliver, something a lot of skepticals out there question is the validity of energy healing and how it is different from the traditional healing methodologies that are available. So if we can, reflect on that.
I love a skeptic. Skeptics are some of my best clients, right? Because they don't believe it's going to work. They don't understand it. And they write things like, "I went for this session as a skeptic, still am a skeptic, but I know that I've changed." Right? When I first heard that, I was like, because it's very difficult to explain what energy healing is.
Mhm.
There is no science that says, "Oh, this is the way energy works. This is the way it works." So I've had to come up with my own sort of ways of it. Now, science has sort of caught up. So we now can take a picture of the aura, and you can see the chakra colors, and you can see where there's blockages in the energy field. And then you could have someone work on that person and then take another picture of their aura, an hour or two later, and see the actual changes to the energy. So science is catching up. And there's also now bioresonance machines that can read your energy and give a sort of scientific background for that. So science is definitely catching up. But of course, there is also that really scientific, limited, I'm going to say, very closed mind when it comes to everything outside of that scientific box. And so now when I try to explain energy to people, I always imagine them saying, well, even though we're connected on this call and I'm in London and you're in India, I don't know how many thousand miles away, but a long way. If I had a light switch to your room, I could turn that light on or off. And you wouldn't go, I wonder whether Oliver's turned the light on today. Because you'd be able to see straight away whether the light was on or off. And energy is very much like that. So when I turn that light on inside of you, it's immediate. It doesn't wait 24 hours to get to you. When we play with energy, we do energy healing, we're often turning things on or off. At the same time, we're taking and removing things out of the person's energy and space. And it has that immediate effect, immediate effect. And then if we take it even one step further, we are very much like there's energy between us. We are all connected by the space because there's energy in the space.
Yep.
And if we imagine that energy is a row of marbles, if I tap the marble in front of me, it's immediately going to move the marble at the end, which might be you. That's how I deal with a skeptic. I really love skeptics. They come in non-believers and they 99% of the time leave going, wow, can't believe I've changed. Don't know how I've changed, but I've changed.
No, I totally agree. Recently, somebody was sharing with me an experience where just by changing the place where they were sitting and resting, their energy levels just drastically changed and it helped them recover faster. They had to go for the medicines and everything, but they just changed the room in their house and after consulting an energy healer, and it drastically, made the recovery faster. So,
Yeah, you're right. You're so right there because there are certain energy centers on the earth. Okay. If you imagine that there's this grid over the whole earth, and the grid's only a couple of meters apart, and it goes from a positive to a negative, a positive to a negative. So each one of these crossover points where these grid lines cross the earth has a different frequency. So
yep.
some of it's giving energy out and others is drawing energy in. Now you can always tell if you have any pets where the negative energy is in the house because cats will always go and sit on a negative spot, right? So quite often they will sit on top of your laptop or they might sit on top of your TV or be in the way, right? And dogs, on the other hand, will always sit on a positive spot. So our pets will always show us. A dog will always sit in the positive spot where the positive energy is. And quite often that might be in the middle of the kitchen where you're trying to get over all the time. Or other times it might be in the middle of the living room, right? But dog will always choose this positive spot in a house. Whereas a cat will choose the negative spot. Right? And quite often cats energetically and traditionally have been known to help clear the energy of a space by sitting on these negative spots. But you're so right in saying by moving a bed, moving a chair, you can really change your energy and your health dramatically. 20 years ago, I think it was thereabouts, when I was looking at different types of modalities, and there was this energy called tachyon energy. It's still around, tachyon energy. There's still crystals with tachyon energy, transformers and receivers. I heard stories of many people who had streams or rivers flowing under their houses. And when they were sleeping over that river or that stream, it used to just drain them of energy. No matter how long they spent, it would just pull the energy because water, magnetizes our energy and just flows it away. And just by moving their bed half a meter or a meter to the left or right, just completely changed their health, energy. And we used in those days tachyons to place on the various locations of the water to divert the negative energy if the person couldn't move their bed.
Wow, that was, a revelation for me about the pets with dogs and cats that I was not aware of. Always something I'm really intrigued about is aura out. Every energy healer talks about the aura that surrounds us. So one, if you can help our listeners understand what aura is, how can one define aura? And second, if we all can learn to see aura or can we see aura out there?
Absolutely. The aura is an incredible thing. We take our physical body as being it, but actually we have a much bigger aura than we have a physical body.
Mm-hmm.
And our aura is actually more important than our physical body. So we could take, here's Oliver, he weighs a certain amount of kilograms, pounds, right?
Yep.
But my energy field, the space around me, is massive, right? Now, most people's auras will vary in size depending on what they're going through. If they're really stressed, the aura gets smaller. If they're really in love, right, the aura gets huge. Okay. So, when we're anxious, when we're fearful, when we're stressed, we often try to hide ourselves. We try to stay away from things, right? But when we're in love, we're just in everything. Our auras are huge. Now, can you see auras? Well, everybody can see an aura if they choose to see it, right? So if you want to see an aura, you can see it, right? And it takes a little bit of practice. One of the easiest ways to see someone's aura is to watch people who maybe have been who've been in the sea swimming. Okay, because when they come out of the sea swimming, the salt water in the sea has purified their aura. Okay, and what you start to see is this incredible bright white light around the physical form. So
Oh,
as they come out, if you look at them, you look at the shadow of them, you better see this white light around them. And as soon as you start to tune into that white light, it's because it's very bright and clean at that point, you'll start to begin over time to see other things. Now, when you're training yourself to look at that aura, allow your imagination to play, right? So I think I'm seeing some green, okay? I think I'm seeing some blue. I'm imagining that it must be blue because our imagination actually is a tool that we use to develop our psychic skills.
okay.
All of them, the
Hmm.
visual, the hearing, the speaking, the knowing, all our psychic skills come through us playing with our imagination. So pretending that we can see it, pretending we can hear it, pretending we can feel it really starts to enhance your psychic skills. So once you've overcome that sort of first fear of not using my imagination, oh, it must be my imagination, because we always try and blame it must be on my imagination. And then you can start to see the different colors and the aspects in the aura. And there's, of course, many, many books written on the subject. So you can then go, okay, what does green mean? What does blue mean? Why is there a dirty mark here? And you can really start to work and understand those for yourself.
Hmm.
Now, when I look at an aura, I generally see it slightly differently. I mean, I do see the colors when I look at the colors, but for me as an energy healer, I'm looking at the stuff that shouldn't be there. So I'm looking at the fears, the blockages. So many people take on the weight of the world across their shoulders, and they don't have to carry the weight of the world. So I see it as a sort of concrete that they're carrying and they on their shoulders. So I see it more the negative stuff that has to be cleared.
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
once it's cleared, then you're looking at all the colors, the different chakra points, the space, and once these weights are cleared, the aura expands massively. Okay, massively, right? On a good day, you want your aura to be 10 meters all the way around you.
Okay.
Now, when I first learned about auras 20 years ago, 25 years ago now, your aura was never bigger than about 3 meters. Okay, but because so many people are waking up, there's so much new light coming to this planet. Our auras are able to expand massively, which means right now there's probably three or four, maybe more people sitting in your aura, depending on where you are, which is incredible because our aura is our first line of defense to what's happening to us, right? So I always imagine the aura like the bubble around a spaceship in maybe a Star Wars movie, the force field. That's the protective force field around a spaceship. And people are firing bullets at it, wherever, and they just bounce off. That's what our auras are there for. But what happens when we're living in a place of fear and stress, and we're maybe we're angry, or a lot of emotions, and we're very, very stressed, and we may have a bad diet, right? These all create holes in our aura, right? Which means that the outside world, the stress of the outside world, start to get to us far quicker. And then they start to manifest, they go through the seven layers of the aura and then start to manifest in the physical body. And when they start to manifest in the physical body, that's when things start to go wrong. That's when we start to get the pains and the diseases and the illnesses. So for us, for most people, a simple thing is to try and keep your energy, extended energy, your aura, as clean as possible, as much of the time as possible.